everybody, Austin back again, doing a little bit of an off-the-cuff style video. I wanted to show you guys something I just got in the mail recently, and that is the Apple Pippin, which I have right here in my hands. Well, sort of. That's just the box. This is the actual Apple Pippin right here. And the Apple Pippin was basically, well, Apple's foray into the console realm, sort of. The Pippin was actually designed to be a multimedia device, and they wanted it to focus around edutainment software as well. But it was also meant to be a video game machine. It was supposed to pass as a lot of things. And much like 3DO, Apple actually designed the technology and then basically farmed it out to other manufacturers to actually manufacture and sell and market. Apple apparently did absolutely no marketing on this thing once it was in the hands of these companies. Now, the first model to come out was actually the Atmark system, which I have in my hands. And I actually just purchased this. You can still get these brand new on places like eBay. Unfortunately, they're a little expensive, but that's what I did. I purchased a brand new system. Cost a nice little chunk of change. But from a historical perspective, I think it was worth it. Now, let me actually go back a step, guys. I was actually going to do a full unboxing and first impressions video and have it be really involved and in-depth. Very similar to my recent Neo Geo X Gold LE unboxing and first impressions and review. But you know what? I've got a lot of things on my plate right now. I just don't have the time to do something like that. I've got other projects I'm going to take care of. So this is going to be a very simple, relaxed, off-the-cuff sort of video. So now, actually, what's kind of funny about this is the Pippin was one of the last systems from the 1990s I've been really curious about that I didn't already have in my collection or hadn't actually experienced before and didn't think I would ever actually get to experience one without buying one myself. Some of those other systems that kind of falls in the same line is the Amiga CD32, which I really want to get one, but it's hard to find one boxed and complete. And then the other one is the FM Towns Marty. The Pippin basically finishes up that trio of systems I had really wanted to try, but never thought I'd get a chance to without buying one for myself. And so the other day I bit the bullet, I splurged, I got the Pippin, and here it is now. So one of those three systems I had yet to try in the 90s is marked off the list officially. So yeah, the Pippin, guys, it actually came in a really big box, and you know, that the Atmark box itself actually doesn't look that big from the front. It's comparable to, say, an Xbox 360 box, maybe just a tad bit taller, but it's also thick. It's a deep box. And part of the reason for that is the system itself. The system comes, much like, say, a Neo Geo CD, with thick styrofoam around it. And the other half of the box, though, is actually made up of a other cardboard box, which houses all the accessories and the extra software bits and the manuals that come with the system. And, you know, the Pippin actually retailed for a lot of money when it came out. It was apparently, I think it was $600 when it came out. But to be fair, the Pippin actually came with a lot of items, which you didn't really see with other systems of the time period. It came with 6 discs, some software, I believe some web browsing software, the software to get the internet working, and so forth. There's a lot of software that came with the system. The package, that box I'm talking about, also had a modem connection. It had all your cabling, your AC adapter, your composite connection. It also had a nice long phone cable, again, to hook the Pippin up to your phone line to connect to the internet. It came with these massive size manuals as well. Really big instruction manuals that even I was impressed with just looking at them today in 2013 as I'm doing this video. And the Pippin came with a lot of stuff. It also came with your controller, which is right here. And this is actually an Applejack controller, as they called it. Pretty traditional D-pad layout, but there's actually some interesting features. For one, it's got this trackball in the front, And it's also got these triggers on the top, and they're not in your traditional trigger location, your traditional L&R location. They're dead center up top, which is really interesting. And you also have these buttons on the bottom, which I actually haven't figured out what they do yet. And then you've got your traditional D-pad and buttons. So that package also came with this. So, I mean, the Pippin, you know, there's actually kind of a reason there's a really big box with the system. The system is also really heavy. This thing, it's deceiving when you see it in pictures. You think to yourself, oh, it's probably like a Sega Saturn. I can toss it across the room like a Frisbee. No, this thing is probably about as heavy as an original Xbox. It might even be a little bit heavier. It's definitely heavier than the Neo Geo CD. But it's easily at least on par with the original Xbox. Again, it might even be heavier than that. This sucker is heavy. But there's actually a lot here as well. If you look in the back of the system, this thing is loaded with ports. I was really blown away by the amount of stuff you get on the back of the system. It's got your basic composite connection, and it's also got your RCA audio cables going out. But it's also got S-Video. It's got audio in for some reason. I don't know if there's supposed to be some audio editing programs or something like that, but you can do stereo audio in. Really interesting stuff. It's got a serial ports in the back for your printing, for your modem, and it's also got a VGA connection, which that just floored me because you never saw something like that on the back of video game consoles back in the day. Now, granted, this is based on Apple's computer hardware of the day. It uses the PowerPC processor running at 66 megahertz, and it even uses a version of an older Apple operating system. But to have the VGA connection on something like this is just impressive to me. That's just something you never saw back in the day. And there's so many options here that you don't have. You even have S-Video if you want to get a better picture to your regular television. Man, this thing is hurting my arm. I got to put this down. One other interesting fact is that you can pretty much use any model in any region. It's got a PAL and NTSC switch on the back of the system. Really, really cool stuff. And that's something you just did not see with other systems at the time. So after hooking it up the other night and actually trying it for the first time and sitting down with it, there's one major complaint I have with the system, and that is the controller. For one, it actually is smaller than it looks like in pictures, and I was really surprised about that. I've seen the controller in pictures a lot, but it just always seems so huge to me. And, you know, it is kind of big, but it's not as big as I thought. It's actually pretty thin, similar to a modern Xbox wired 360 controller. And it's light. It's actually very light in contrast to the system's weight itself. A couple other issues I have with this thing, though, is the D-pad. It's sort of recessed in the center, and it's very easy to, say, hold left, but accidentally go up or down or something like that, or diagonal. It's not very accurate. Not a very good D-pad. Also, the buttons are really, really small, and they're far apart at the same time. So the buttons are a little tricky to hit consistently if you're used to, say, a Super Nintendo or Sega Genesis 6 button or a PlayStation controller or something like that. It's tough to get used to. Also, something else that's a little unconventional is the triggers. The triggers are dead center at the top of the controller, and it is really, really awkward. It's actually, it doesn't feel uncomfortable with the game I tried, but it's, I don't know. I'd hate to play a game that, I don't even know. I don't even know where I'm going with that. But it's, I can't say I like the controller. It's interesting. I'm glad to say I've been able to finally put my hands on a Pippin controller. A Pippin Applejack controller, as they're called. But, yeah. Not all is bad, though, with this purchase, because one of the reasons I actually got the system, aside from wanting to add it to the collection and experience it for the first time, finally, after, geez, nearly 20 years of knowing about it, is this game right here. And this actually sort of got me... It sort of kick-started my motivation to go ahead and finally bite the bullet and buy the system. and it's called Tropic Island. It's a digital pinball game, if you believe it. Now, if you guys have been following me for a while, you know that I'm really into real pinball these days, and actually I'm going to pick up my second pinball machine tomorrow after recording this. So I really love real pinball. I play a lot of it. And I love digital pinball as well. And that's actually kind of what got me into real pinball. That was sort of the gateway to real pinball. But I've played most of the digital pinball games out there, aside from rare computer ports or computer exclusive pinball games. Most of the stuff on consoles I played, except this. When I saw this, I was just scrounging eBay. I happened to look up Pippin. And there was this game, and I was like, Tropic Island, oh, whatever. It's got little anime chicks on it and whatever. And then I looked closer, and I was like, wait a second. That's a pinball game on a really obscure system. What the hell? So I put a bid down on the pinball game, thinking, okay, this is probably really obscure. If I win it, I'll have it in the collection, and I'll have something to play when I finally get a Pippin. It'll give me a reason to get a Pippin, because aside from this, the Pippin's library is not very interesting at all. Doesn't have a very big library, period. I think it's even smaller than the Virtual Boy when it comes to actual real games and not edutainment or multimedia software. So, but yeah, I ended up winning this unexpectedly. I put a bid down. And I was expecting to get outbid because Pippin games do not pop up very often, and when they do, depending on the game, they can go for a lot of money. But I ended up winning it, and that sort of kickstarted me into the idea of finally breaking down and buying a Pippin. And I did, and here I am now, being able to play this game. And it's actually a really good pinball game. I was really surprised. There's some things you can do in this game, physics-wise, that you couldn't do in other pinball games from the same time period, which is really impressive, especially considering it's completely two-dimensional, top-down, no crazy zoom effects or anything like that. But, you know, with this in my collection, I have to say I'm actually enjoying the Pippin system, and I'm glad I got a game to start off with that is actually good, because, again, if you go and you look at the Pippin library and you look at the handful of videos of actual games on YouTube, aside from Marathon and aside from Shockwave, which are games that are extremely rare for one, but two, you can get on other systems. The Pippin doesn't have much really exclusive on it. Now, one could argue Tropic Island is also a Macintosh pinball game, but researching it on the web as well, it's apparently a really obscure Macintosh game as well. So it's obscure no matter what. But Marathon and Shockwave, not so much. Shockwave was a very prominent title on the 3DO. You can also get it on the PlayStation. And Marathon, you can get on Xbox Live Arcade now, or at least the second one, which comes on the Marathon collection for the Pippin. So aside from those games, there's not really a whole lot really worthwhile in the Pippin from what I can tell. If you happen to have experienced a Pippin for yourself, or you have one in your collection, or you know someone that knows someone that knows someone that's really educated on the Pippin, if they have any really good suggestions for games, and I mean like decent games, like even if they cost $100 because they're really rare, are they worth playing? Can you put a dozen hours of time into them because they have replay value? Like this game, I could see myself playing for a very long time. I had a blast with it last night. It was actually about 7 in the morning, which is much later than I normally stay up. I didn't want to stop playing it. And that's a sign of a good game. Unfortunately, I don't think the Pippin has too many more games like that are that good from what I've seen and researched so far. Yeah. So, I don't even know where I'm going with this anymore, guys. Again, this is an off-the-cuff video, unscripted, and yeah, I haven't really done a video like this in a while. I don't usually do videos like this anymore, unless it's an actual Let's Play. I'm playing a game on a TV, and that's a little bit different. So, haven't done a face-to-face video in a while, and yeah, I just wanted to show off the Apple Pippin that I just received just recently. And you know what? This is a system that I feel had a lot of potential. For one, it was powerful. It had a decent amount of RAM. It had a pretty decent processor for the time as a 66 megahertz PowerPC based processor, which when it came out in 1995 pretty much destroyed just about anything else on the market power-wise, I'd say, until the Nintendo 64 came out. There's a lot of potential in this thing. I mean, all the ports in the back of the system, that was something you never really saw back then. The internet connectivity, I mean, for the mid-90s, for a console, that was actually kind of ahead of its time as well. You had things like X-Band on Super Nintendo and Genesis, but actually connecting to the internet, browsing the web from a console, that didn't really happen until the Saturn's Netlink, which was 96 or 97. So, and by then, the Pippin was basically being discontinued. It was 97 when the Pippin was discontinued. So, I mean, this system, I think, definitely had a lot of potential, but if you go and you research the history, there are so many things that went wrong with it, and so many parties to blame. Both Apple, who designed the technology, and Bandai, they're all to blame when you read between the lines, and it's really a shame. The system was overpriced, similar to a 3DO where it was about $600. So much potential just kind of wasted. Had they marketed it as strictly a video game console and really went gung-ho with really great software and courted better known developers and whatnot, I think the system could have had potential. Hell, it could have even at least lived up to, I don't know, the PCFX's legacy, which wasn't really much of a legacy either, but it actually had some software. This thing, unfortunately, does not really. So, kind of a lot of wasted potential. Really neat piece of video game console history, if you ask me. And I'm glad I have it in the collection. And again, it was one of those last few systems from the 1990s that I hadn't already had in my collection or haven't experienced before. And I'm glad to say that now I finally have experienced the Pippin some nearly 20 years after first knowing about it. So, again, guys, that's basically it. I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up here. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll be back with some regular Let's Plays soon and some other video projects I've got up my sleeves. So, with that, I'll see you next time, guys. So, take care.